So as Juliana said, many of you indicated that you're not familiar with the Learning Hub and our catalog. And as this is our main platform for open educational resources, I will give you a very brief introduction to the Learning Hub with a focus to the Learning Resources catalog. So as I said, this is a dedicated platform that gives access to open educational materials from online food and online courses on specific skills to training materials that you can use for your own classes. And we also have tutorials that have been developed from the central hub for workshop trainings, but also through European projects. For example, the CLARIN 101 tutorial, which focuses on the CLARIN central services, which is a great way for your students or you, if you're not yet familiar, to learn more about the CLARIN central services. About the Learning Resource Catalog, I will talk in a bit, but we also have the Digital Humanities Course Registry, where you can find university courses from the Digital Humanities. You can check it if interested. We also have guidelines and best practices for you that want to create new materials for the CLARIN and broader SSH community. And we also have, and we're very proud of the Trainers Web Network. A lot of you, some of you, are already part of this community of experts and trainers. All these people represent CLARIN, are invited in workshops and trainings to talk about CLARIN and specific disciplines that they work on. So if you want someone to present CLARIN in an event, you can check our trainers network. And as your teachers, if you want to be part of the trainers network, you can contact us and we'll be very happy to include you. So the past summer, the three of us, along with our developers, developed the CLARIN Learning Resources Catalog. It's a curated catalog of educational materials from the CLARIN community. At the moment, only from the CLARIN community, but in the future, Juliana and I would like also to add other materials, of course, relevant to the community that they might have developed by people that are not part of CLARIN. So this catalog is great because it's searchable. It has a lot of filters like topic, skill level, resource type, and more. So it makes it very easy to find the specific topic you're interested in for the level you're interested in without having to look for through every resource. So, not yet. So this has been based on the RTA minimal metadata schema. I will present this in a bit. Here you can see the Learning Resources Catalog. If you have not yet checked it, check it. And if you have an interesting resource that you would like to include, please contact us. These are is an overview actually of the topics that you can find in the catalog. So, as I said, the catalog is based on the minimal RTA metadata set for learning resources, and we have also slightly enriched it with community-specific metadata, such as the CLARIN case centers, the national consortia, and more resource types that were relevant to the courses and materials that we have. To conclude my part, this is an example of a resource. What you see when you click on a specific resource. This is an introduction to oral data management created by Giulia. And if you see, it's Italian. Where is it? Language. Language. Okay, sorry. So we also accept resources in other languages because yesterday you said that multilinguality is important to you. So it's also important to us. So if you have courses in your own language, you can share it with us. We will translate the metadata with you, and it will be available for people that are interested in that specific language and topic. And as you see, we have target audience, skills level, topic, and more metadata. This This resource was created through the H2IOSC project, which Giulia Pedonese will now present. Hello everyone, thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here. And yes, today I would like to introduce you to the project H2IOSC, which allowed me to contribute into this endeavor of making open access resources, learning resources. I am specifically active within the Italian CLARIN community, thanks to Francesca Kontino in particular. And so the H2IOSC project, to give you a little bit of background, is really complicated, as you can see. But the most important bit is that it creates a cluster, affiliated cluster of 4 Italian consortia of those infrastructures, so Iris, Operas, Daria, and CLARIN. And I worked in this bit, the work package number 8. And basically, this work package was about training. So the main output was creating a fair by design training methodology so that we can adapt old courses and also create new ones, especially about services created within the federation. And also we created 2 platforms, which I will show you in a minute. Yes, this is the first one, which is a learning management system. And I can show you during a lunch break, maybe. You can already access the course catalog. And the topics are those inherent to the interests of the 4 infrastructures. So you can find cultural heritage, linguistics, and scholarly communication. As CLARIN, we do have CLARINites. We have several courses, especially this. Please remember that because you will see more in a minute. That was a course developed from a summer school in Lisbon in 2025. And we also tried to adapt this kind of courses within the University Curricula. So that's what I'm talking about today. The other platform is a repository, which I might say should be the first of its kind, because it allows teachers to reuse, to deposit and then search for other training materials that are reusable, citable, and ready to use in their courses. So maybe I can show you better in the lunch break because we have no time now. But this is the H2IOSC learning training library, sorry. So this is the interface in which, if you want to deposit your own training materials, you will have to describe your product according to the RDA metadata schema that we've seen before. So basically, both platforms use this metadata schema for 2 different types of digital objects. The first being e-learning courses, and the last one, this one specifically, being training materials for teachers. So one is for students to learn, the other is for teachers to reuse. This was thus as potentially connected to all other catalogs because of the descriptors, because of the metadata we used for describing each module. So first and foremost, we have mapped the metadata onto the H2IOSC marketplace, which is basically the unified access point to all of the services and outputs of the project. And then we also aligned metadata schema with the CLARIN Learning Resources catalog, and also we would be visible in the shop marketplace via our H2IOSC marketplace. So there's a network, as you can see, and hopefully the training materials will become more and more visible that way. So this is like a snapshot of the of how those objects are visible in the H2IOSC marketplace, and basically the mapping of the metadata was done so that the 2 different objects, which are courses for students and training materials for teachers, are both considered as learning resources, but they are basically distinguished by their target audience. So as I said before, courses for students and training materials for teachers. So the final part of my presentation is about what we try to do at university, because we also developed courses and training materials as well. Those two courses were used at the University of Ferrara as a pilot, just to see how well they could be integrated into the universities. This is basically the first one you can see. This is the Italian adaptation and translation of the upskills course you saw with Giulia van der Lek yesterday. And the other one is the course about linguistics and data that comes from the summer school in Lisbon. This is like a prospect of what we need intelligent for. This was the first time we approached the university. Thank you. And we adapted 3 different modules from the first course, introducing CLARIN and standards and repositories to students. This was like the first impact on university. And what I can say is that the adaptation of the modules was pretty easy, because they were already really flexible, open, and modular. On the other hand, the resistance we encountered was based on the university strictness on assessment procedures, because students were really happy to learn and they were highly motivated, and they were also tested during the oral exam about those competencies, but we could not really develop a specific assessment plan and assignment for them to do that was compulsory for their course. So that was a limitation, but we tried again in 2025. And this time we also developed a small module on linguistic plain token data. So that was a mix between the 2 courses. That was a success. And this time we selected slightly different courses, because first time we focused on language and translation other than English linguistics. This time we selected specifically linguistic curricula. So that was more successful. And we also had students implementing CLARIN services and also FAIR principles and practices in their BA and MA thesis. So to conclude, those are also scientific and engagement output from these pilots. Because as you can see, we also had a CLARIN Cafe on translation technology stemming from the Ferrara pilots. Then we presented at several conferences, and also we published papers. So all of that, and my slide is not there, but all that to say that basically we consider in the CLARIN IT community, but also on a wider level, we do consider training as a scientific output. And this is made possible because of a approach that sees those products as research products, which are citable, which have a PhD attributed, which is also possible thanks to the learning training library, so the repository. And yes, hopefully those training materials will be reused more and more thanks to this approach. And yeah, the important point was also training the trainers at university. So we targeted the students, but we also worked alongside our colleagues at universities so that they became CLARIN trainers as well. So that was really a synergy, and I was happy to be part of it. Thank you so much.